Today we're bringing back a taste of old Chicago, a historical 1890s cocktail called Cohasset Punch has been revived just in time for the holidays. And joining us now is the owner behind the comeback, Greg Shutters, to show us how the classic liqueur fits into modern holiday cocktails. Greg, this is such a fun story.
Thank you.
I first read about you last year in the Chicago Tribune and how you discovered this old recipe and you became obsessed with trying to figure out how it was made. Kind of take me down that road, how you discovered this.
Sure. So I got really interested. You know, I love local history. I love cocktail history. And I kept seeing this name over and over again, Cohasset Punch, being talked about as like a, Chicago-based, both cocktail, but also a bottled liqueur.
Okay.
And so I started to look into old newspaper articles and trade journals, and it was mentioned quite a bit. And I, pieced together the formula as it would have tasted, and
in the 1890s.
1890s, yeah. It was created down here in the Loop. There was a guy by the name of Lewis Williams who was vacationing out in Cohasset, Massachusetts, overheard some people talking about how New England made the best rum punch, and he saw that as a challenge, sent a telegram to his business partner in Chicago to try and one-up the Boston crowd, and created this, and it was made for about 90 years, with a break during Prohibition. But
and so you have bottled it up.
Yes.
What you believe is the original recipe. What does it taste like?
So there's a lot of cherry, there's some stone fruit, like peach, apricot, plum, some citrus in there, a little orange, a little lemon. It's very complex. It's an aged rum base, so you've got, some complexity from that, a little bit of that sugar cane, a little bit of that, like vanilla from, from a bourbon barrel type thing you get. And so this is, it is sort of its own drink. Like it is a liqueur, but it's also a bottled cocktail. So traditionally what you would do is you would just take some ice and you just add a little bit to a mixing glass. And you can, you don't have to be fancy and have a mixing glass. You can just use a pint glass or something. But then you take, about 3 ounces or so of this.
Okay.
And then I'm just knocking into stuff here. There we go. But then you just take some ice and it dilutes it just a little bit, chills it down. It's really good cold. And then that's really all you need to do. And the traditional garnish was always a peach slice.
I love this long spoon, too. That always gets me. Every time bartenders have that really long spoon.
Yeah, it makes it really easy. But again, you don't need the fancy equipment.
Right.
You just need a bottle and some ice. But then you just strain into a little cocktail coupe here.
And then you garnish it with a peach.
Garnish it with the peach, and it goes really well together. The peach kind of marinates in the drink while you're drinking it, and you eat it at the end, and it's really, really nice.
Okay, you've put together some additional recipes. So for your holiday party, you want to pick this up. You don't want to drink it, quote unquote, straight. You can mix it with what, Greg?
Yes. So this is 60 proof. It's sort of like a Manhattan kind of strength. So that's a little strong for some people. So we have sort of a party punch, and this is actually based on a recipe that was sent into the Chicago Tribune several years ago. Somebody whose family, makes Cohasset Punch with some lemon lime soda, some fruit, like a diced pineapple, peach, and maraschino cherries, and then a little bit of lemon juice to balance it out so it's not too sweet. And it's really, it's a really great little
I'll let you try
sipper.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
About all I can have on this table are the ice cubes and the peach slices. But I will trust you that it's really good.
It's, it's nice and tart. It's got a lot of that fruit flavor.
And then what else did you bring in? And
it's also really great in an eggnog. So we made an eggnog that uses Cohasset Punch as the spirit base. A lot of times we'll use rum or brandy, or sometimes like a fortified wine, like a port or a sherry, but that's sort of all what's in here. So,
and then finally, we have very little time left, but for our beer lovers, what have you done?
So this is what we're calling the Pilsner Punch. There's a brand called Sipes. It's another old Chicago brand that came back after it went out of business during Prohibition, and it's just fill a glass with ice, put some Sipes Pilsner, pre-Prohibition Pilsner in there, top it with 1.5 ounces of Cohasset Punch, and then you've got an orange slice and a little bit of rosemary for, some festive holiday.
You can't beat it. All right, Greg, thank you so much for coming in, bartending for us. You can pick up your Cohasset Punch at Binny's. It's available all year round.
Yes, thank you so much.
Greg, best of luck to you. Thank you for reviving this really fun recipe. We'll be right back.